In the shadowy world of international organized crime, power is measured in influence, fear, and sophisticated tools. These tools are not just weapons or money, but also the means to transport their illicit goods across borders with impunity. The most powerful drug cartels operate like multinational corporations, with logistical capabilities rivaling legitimate governments. They have the resources to move vast quantities of drugs, money, and weapons across continents. They command armies, networks of corrupt officials, and a ghost fleet of planes, submarines, and container ships. This fleet is the backbone of their operations, enabling them to evade law enforcement and maintain their grip on power. At the heart of this fleet are state-of-the-art business jets, symbols of cartel impunity, soaring with payloads worth millions. These jets are not just transportation, they are flying fortresses, equipped with the latest technology to avoid detection. Among the many stories of narco excess, few are as perplexing as the legend of the missing $135 million plane. This plane was a marvel of engineering, customized to meet the specific needs of its criminal owners. This customized marvel was a flying fortress, designed to move unimaginable wealth with discretion. It was a symbol of the cartel's power and reach, capable of transporting vast sums of money and drugs without detection. Its disappearance was not just a financial loss, it was an event that defied logic, leaving a power vacuum filled with paranoia. The sudden absence of such a significant asset sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld. The tale of this plane is more than an unsolved mystery. It reveals the complex interplay between technology, betrayal, and the cat-and-mouse game between criminals and law enforcement. It highlights the lengths to which these cartels will go to protect their interests. Did it crash, get stolen, or was it seized by a government agency? Each theory is as plausible as the next, adding to the enigma surrounding its fate. The story of the missing jet is a reminder that in the cartel world, the greatest threats often come from the shadows. It serves as a stark illustration of the high-stakes world of international drug trafficking, where the line between reality and myth is often blurred. The aircraft at the center of this enigma was no ordinary jet. It was a machine shrouded in secrecy, its very existence whispered about in the shadows of the underworld. It was a heavily modified Bombardier Global 8000, transformed into a vessel perfectly suited for the cartel's dangerous business. Engineers and technicians worked tirelessly, adding custom features that made it unlike any other aircraft in the skies. Known as the Aguila Dorada, or the Golden Eagle, it was a golden bird that could fly anywhere, untouchable and unseen. Its shimmering exterior was more than just a symbol of wealth. It was a warning to rivals and authorities alike. Its luxurious cabin was replaced with a reinforced cargo hold, capable of carrying up to 5 tons of cocaine. The interior was stripped of comfort, rebuilt for one purpose, to move massive quantities of illicit cargo across continents. The fuel tanks were expanded, giving it an unprecedented range to fly non-stop from Colombia to Europe or Africa. This allowed the jet to avoid detection by making fewer stops and taking unpredictable routes. Equipped with military-grade avionics, it had advanced radar jamming technology and encrypted communications. These upgrades made it nearly impossible for authorities to track or intercept. The jet was a strategic asset, opening new, lucrative trafficking routes, bypassing traditional smuggling corridors. It changed the game, allowing the cartel to expand its reach and profits. It flew between secret runways in remote jungles and deserts, invisible to satellites. These hidden airstrips were carefully chosen, far from prying eyes and government patrols. Pilots were former military aviators, mercenaries paid for their skills and silence. Only the best were trusted to fly such a high-stakes mission, knowing failure was not an option. The Aguila Dorada was the perfect tool for a modern criminal empire, a symbol of power, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of dominance in the world of illicit trade. The day the jet vanished from the skies, it began like any other, calm, predictable, and unremarkable. No one suspected that this would be the last time anyone would see the aircraft or its crew. It was on a mission considered routine, a flight that had become almost mundane for those involved. The flight plan was simple, a route the jet had flown twice before, from Colombia to Mali, crossing the vast Atlantic. The crew knew every checkpoint, every refueling stop, and every potential hazard along the way. On board were 2 seasoned Ukrainian pilots, both with years of experience, and a cartel operative overseeing the precious cargo. The stakes were high, but the team was confident. This was just another job. The weather was clear, and intelligence indicated no unusual patrols or threats along the route. The takeoff was flawless, the jet climbing into the sky, its systems masking its electronic signature to avoid detection. For the first few hours, everything proceeded as planned, with the aircraft maintaining a steady course. The first message read, "Nominal, confirming all systems were functioning perfectly, and there were no issues to report." The second and final message was a single word, viento, meaning wind in Spanish, sent without explanation. It was brief, almost cryptic, and would soon become the last trace of the flight. After that, the radio went silent, never reaching its destination or making contact again. The most valuable asset in the cartel's arsenal vanished into the ocean, leaving no trace behind. The cryptic message and the plane's disappearance left a storm of questions for investigators and the cartel alike. Was it a simple weather report or a coded warning? The mystery deepened, and the truth remained just out of reach. In the cartel's command center, silence turned to alarm when the plane was overdue. The $135 million asset had disappeared from their screens. There was no distress call, no emergency beacon, and no debris. The cartel initiated a covert search, dispatching scout planes and fishing trawlers. They scoured the ocean for weeks, finding nothing. The lack of debris was baffling. A crash would have scattered wreckage over a vast area. The final message, viento, became a source of speculation. Was it a simple weather report, or a coded warning of an intercepting force? The complete lack of electronic trace suggested something deliberate and sinister. The had not just fallen, it had been made to vanish. The mystery of its disappearance pointed to a sophisticated operation. One compelling theory was that the disappearance was an audacious theft. A rival organization, perhaps the CJNG, intercepted the plane. They needed intelligence on the route, schedule, and communication protocols. The combined value of the plane and cargo was over $200 million. A rival could have used their own aircraft to force the to divert. The cryptic viento message could have been a warning of interception. If stolen, the plane would be taken to a secret airstrip, the cargo seized. The plane, with its advanced technology, would be a greater prize than the cocaine. This theory sent a shockwave of fear through the Sinaloa cartel, sparking a brutal internal purge. The theft, if it was, crippled their trust and sparked a civil war. Another theory suggests the was intercepted by a government agency. This would have been a ghost capture, an off-the-books operation. Agencies like the CIA or European intelligence could track and force it down. They could have used military jets to intercept the mid-flight. The viento message could have been a signal of being escorted by an irresistible force. Capturing the plane intact would be an intelligence goldmine. The cargo would be destroyed, but the jet and its technology would be studied. Publicly acknowledging the seizure would expose informants and agency capabilities. By making the plane disappear, the agency achieves its goals without compromise. The cartel is left weakened, fighting shadows while the government dissects their tool. The most insidious theory is that the disappearance was an inside job. The Ukrainian pilots decided to steal the plane and its cargo for themselves. They were mercenaries, loyal only to money, tempted by a fortune in cocaine. They had the skills, opportunity, and control of the asset. To pull this off, they needed a buyer and a secure landing location. After sending the misleading viento message, they disabled the plane's trackers. The cartel operative on board would have been eliminated to prevent interference. This theory requires the least external coordination, just the greed of two individuals. The cartel lost not only the plane and cargo, but also trust in their contractors. They may not be at the bottom of the ocean but hidden somewhere. Since the disappearance, no definitive evidence has surfaced. All that remains is a trail of whispers, rumors, and unconfirmed clues. A French satellite analyst found a thermal anomaly in the South Atlantic. This could support the theory of an interception, suggesting a forced diversion. Another clue emerged from the criminal underworld, involving a massive diamond. The diamond was linked to a dealer known to launder money for traffickers. Could this have been a payment to the pilots for delivering the... A disgraced DEA agent spoke of a captured narcojet at a secret U.S. site. His description fit the EE, supporting the government seizure theory. Without official confirmation, these remain rumors, adding to the plane's myth. Today, the fate of the remains, one of organized crime's greatest mysteries. Was it a mid-air heist, a government capture, or an act of betrayal? Each theory is plausible, supported by tantalizing but inconclusive evidence. The disappearance pulls back the curtain on modern global crime. It shows the war on drugs is fought with billion-dollar technology and high-stakes espionage. The cartels are sophisticated actors with global reach, vulnerable to paranoia and betrayal. The lack of a definitive answer is a chilling reminder of dark spots on the map. Secrets can be kept by powerful people, whether criminals or government agents. The silence surrounding thee is a testament to the power of those involved. Until found, the legend of the missing plane endures as a cautionary tale of ambition,